All right, folks, welcome back to the Crisis Report. Coming to you live on X and on Kick. Appreciate you being here. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. Sergeant Rocker, good to see you. We'll have some updates on that Rob Reiner thing. It's not good. Rob Reiner was murdered tonight by his son, Nick. So, not to give too much away, but we'll talk about it. So, let's get into it. We are brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. If you are considering taking your IRA or 401k and putting it into gold and silver, this is a highly recommended company. So hopefully you're joining us from over on X. If you can, go check those out and subscribe over there. If you can go on over to Kick, maybe consider going over there. I think things are evolving, and eventually, someone said tonight, they said, they're just trying to get rid of like normal old channels. And they just want it to be basically like a corporate cable type thing on here. Maybe. And if so, you might want to have backup plan. That's why we're doing what we're doing here with the multiple streaming and all that. So that's about it. Yeah, Sergeant Rocker, I didn't like him politically either, but I mean, still, he's a human being, But that's what makes us different than the people that are violently politically motivated over on the left, and some on the right. So, yeah, if I want to beat you, it's going to be in an intellectual way, and that's it. I don't want to harm anyone. So, all right, well, let's get started. It's late. I got to go on to wake up and go and work and stuff tomorrow. We appreciate you being here. Hit that like button, and let's get started on your crisis report. Here we go. By the way, if you are not on Substack or you are not on Locals or Subscribestar, these are other ways to support, as well as, of course, as a member here on YouTube, which does kind of tend to keep bored on its back feet from time to time. Water Tiger is one such person, so thank you. We'll be getting into that, Watchman, so thanks for being here. Okay, let's get started. Crisis Report, December 14th, now 15th, 2025. Here we go. Massive crane has been set up on the White House South Lawn ahead of Trump's ballroom construction. Israel's intelligence agency Mossad will assist Australia in the investigation into the terrorist attack. President Trump says he has truckloads of evidence that will soon be released proving the 2020 election was rigged. Ukraine is reportedly abandoning its bid to join NATO as part of an offer presented to U.S. envoys Wyckoff and Kushner. Canada has reportedly started euthanizing inmates in its prison system. I love it. Hey, nobody's safe from Mark Carney. 2 individuals have been found inside a Brentwood home owned by actor and director Rob Reiner. The 2 people were found dead at the home of director and actor Rob Reiner. LA Fire Department reported the victims were aged 78 and 68, age that match Reiner and his wife, Michelle. I don't have it on this report, but we have since learned that it was their son, Nick, 32 years old, who is a drug addict and supposedly homeless. He murdered them, from what the reports are saying, allegedly. Photo of Benjamin Erickson, identified as a person of interest in the Brown University shooting. Now, CNN has come out since and said that they have released the person. Now, I am not sure what is going on with that. So let's just do CNN is CNN. All right, let's do Brown University suspect released. Let's see what that comes up with on the old Google Webs. Police released man detained earlier in connection with deadly Brown University shooting. So, New York Times, Brown University shooting, person of interest in custody 24 minutes ago. So, I don't know. I'm not getting a definitive yes or no. So we'll act as if. But right now, as of 11:45, 11:55, CNN was saying that the person was released. So we'll just go through the intel. AI boom update. Reality has entered the chat. 3 years after ChatGPT mania, Wall Street is finally asking an impolite question: who's paying? Well, it's you and I, of course. NVIDIA wobbles hard as a physical world limitation are finally recognized by the Wall Street dreamers. Learn to spell. Oracle is tanking hard, losing almost all of its totally not inflated growth. Big tech admits it's burning hundreds of billions of data centers in the next couple of years, without explaining where the electricity is coming from, you and I. Now, of course, they're going to say, oh, they're building their own power centers, but again, it's you and I. OpenAI plans to spend $1.4 trillion, make money later. SoftBank keeps wiring cash. NVIDIA invests in its own customers, totally normal ecosystem. This isn't .com levels of crazy, yet the experts assure us. But fantasy-based growth is slowing. Depreciation is rudely erasing non-existing billions. Bond markets are nervous, and the AI solves everything shtick is wearing thin because it doesn't. It's crappy. No crash, probably, maybe, likely, hopefully, if when all this fails, tried and tested too big to fail, will kick in, but the bubble is bubbling. And I would agree. Be watching that one, as we certainly are. Mossad has officially joined the investigation today to assist Australian authorities following the terrorist attacks. The agency will examine who carried out the attack, whether anyone directed or supported the attackers, and if it was a lone wolf operation. Mossad will also focus on determining whether Iran or Hezbollah had any involvement in the attacks. UK is going to create investigation units for sexual assault to work in every police force in England and Wales, plus a network of undercover officers to target online offenders. Sure. Just shut down the internet, UK. Like, seriously, if it's this bad, if you can't even handle people saying that Starmer sucks, and he does, and you've got this much problem going on with your young ladies, just shut the internet down. Okay, seriously. Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine. Thank God, my ancestors 400 plus years ago gave them the middle finger and left. Good luck. New South Wales police say the two gunmen in the Australian shooting were father and son, aged 50 and 24. The father killed by police. The son remains in hospital. Police confirm they are not looking for a third offender. And anti-Semitism is a scourge. It's been around for a long period of time. We need to do whatever we can to stamp it out. Conservative Jose Antonio Cast has won Chile's presidential election. Left-wing communist Janet Jara conceding defeat. France mandates jabs of 1 million cows against lumpy skin disease, or LSD, amid widespread farmer protests over the government's policy of culling entire infected herds. I mean, what better way to get them to take the jibbity than to say, you know what, you either do this, we're just going to kill them all. Kind of sounds like Canada. Ella Cook, vice president at the Campus Republicans, was identified as a victim by her church at the Brown U shooting. Reports saying that she was a target during the shooting while studying for finals. A lot of them were there in the library. It was timed in a way. And again, I don't know if they had the guy or not. New York Times Young Republican Club annual gala. A guy decked out in a Yahtzee uniform costume forced his way in, sparking a scuffle that had security, which then scrambled to boot him out. Andy Ogles posted a video on the incident, calling the intruder a communist Mamdani supporter and trying it to broader anti-MAGA sentiment. Here's an idea. Why don't we start getting dressed up as Stalin and going in and start taking over some of these meetings, like the Socialist Rifle Association. I got a video tonight from a trusted subscriber saying that the Socialist Rifle Association, you might know them, they're tied with certain groups like Antifa. They might be planning something. I don't know the validity. I don't know the truth, but it's enough to make me question and read and try to figure things out. Israeli source told Haaretz that in recent weeks, intelligence has been received indicating intentions to target the Jewish community in Australia. Homemade explosive device was discovered in the car of one of the Sydney attackers, AFP citing Australian police. Paris has canceled New Year's celebrations due to, of course, security reasons. Yes, you can't even have fun in Europe anymore. Thank God I saw it when I did. I will not be going back. Authorities in the French capital have decided to cancel their traditional New Year's music celebration on the Champs-Élysées, which was scheduled, as in previous years, to take place on December 31st. According to officials, the beloved event, traditionally filled with music, lights, festivity, not go on ahead due to a crisis linked to a large number of illegal migrants in the region and the state's inability to guarantee security at mass gatherings. France Info reports that Paris police asked Mayor Anne Hidalgo to cancel the celebration, warning that the risk of stampedes, riots, and uncontrolled crowd movements is too high. And who are the people that are rioting over there? Moroccan it out. ISIS flag found inside the car of one of the Bondi Beach terrorists, of course. Illinois National Guard member Demi Palashek, who vowed to defy orders to deploy to Chicago, has doubled down, saying she would refuse to deploy because she is a, quote, Mexican. Illinois Army National Guard member and Democratic candidate for state office, Palachek, who's a Mexican, not an American, first voiced opposition in October to potential activation for federal immigration enforcement in Chicago. She cited her Mexican heritage through her mother and commitment to protecting migrant or immigrant families amid mass deportation efforts to move back. Defense Department has suspended her security clearance and launched an investigation for possible insubordination, as no deployment orders have reached her yet and related legal challenges head to the Supreme Court. So, yeah, there you go. Authorities say the suspect detained in the Brown University shooting is from Wisconsin, believed to have traveled to Rhode Island to carry out the attack. Believed, I don't know what's going on with it now. CNN at 11:45 said the guy is not the guy they released him. Authorities say moving on. New info from Sydney police said 16 dead, 40 injured. Oof. 10-year-old girl was amongst the dead. Double, incredibly painful. Oof. Oldest victim was 87. Jeez. 5 people in critical condition. One shooter identified, 50-year-old man, killed by police. Second identified, 24-year-old man. He is in critical condition. 2 officers were shot while exchanging fire with the shooters. They remain in serious but stable condition. In a speech for the Communist Party of Cuba, Cuban dictator Miguel Diaz-Canel confirms that there's a widespread economic collapse gripping the socialist-ruled island, imagine that, describing a critical situation marked by runaway inflation, virtually paralyzed economy, and a profound crisis in thermal power generation. You guys thought about maybe doing communism? You know, it works for many countries. Diaz-Canel also admitted to a severe food shortage, a situation that directly impacts the population and worsens living conditions in the country. You wish that history could teach some people, you know, because Lord knows we don't have enough history in the past 100 years of, say, communist regimes having their entire populations suffer famine and die in the tens of millions. No states come to mind of that one. Kamala Harris stepping toward another White House run. Yep, she'll fix it. Investors are flooding into U.S. equities ETFs at an unprecedented pace. Equity ETFs inflows have now exceeded $300 billion over the last 3 months, second largest 3-month inflow on record. Since October 12th, equity ETFs have attracted a record $5.5 billion in inflows, and more to come. Key events for this week. October retail sales data comes out Tuesday. November jobs report Tuesday. November CPI inflation data Thursday. December Philly Fed manufacturing index Thursday. October PCE inflation data on Friday. and November existing home sales data as well. I'm sure they'll all be stunningly beautiful. AI debt is fueling the global corporate debt surge. U.S. AI-linked bond issuance rose 145 billion year over year to a record 220 billion in 2025. This is equal to the combined total issued over the last 3 years, including loans, technology, corporate debt issuance jumped to 270 billion. Yep. Individual investors are making history. Retail investors accounted for 20% of the U.S. stock market trading volume, quarter 3, 2025, second highest on record, only below the quarter 1, 2021 peak during the meme stock frenzy. By comparison, before 2020, this percentage averaged 15%. And U.S. natural gas pipeline construction is skyrocketing along the Gulf Coast. The Gulf Coast is set to add 18 billion cubic feet per day. New natural gas pipeline capacity in 2026, biggest 1 year increase in 18 years. 13% jump in the region's total. Many U.S. small-cap firms are struggling. 40% of Russell 2000 companies reported negative 12-month earnings in quarter 3, 2025, near the highest percentage on record. Percentage has more than doubled since 2007 and remain in clear upward trend. Also in line with something else. Oh, by the way, there's links. So if you wanted to go there and click on that link, or follow it, copy paste it, or this one right here. Yeah, you can do that. U.S. consumer appetite for holiday spending is falling. November, Americans estimated that they would spend an average of $778 on holiday gifts. That's down $229 from October. Marks the largest drop in expected holiday spending in data going back to 2006. AI boom is creating a severe memory chip shortage. Dynamic random access memory, or DRAM, inventory levels are down 80% year over year. That is critical. Just 3 weeks worth of supply. This is the type of memory particularly used in computers and phones. By comparison, DRAM suppliers held 9.5 weeks, 9.5 weeks of it. And person of interest took into custody in connection with the shooting at Brown University is Benjamin Erickson, 24-year-old Army veteran originally from Wisconsin who recently has lived in D.C., but we don't know if that's true, and he might have been released. We're getting conflicting stories, but as of 11:45, CNN said the person had been released who was taken in, and this is the only guy I've seen who fits that bill. So that is your crisis report for December 14th, 2025. We're brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. We appreciate you being here. Please consider becoming a member, joining us. We'll have an alert tomorrow in the afternoon sometime. Other than that, friends, keep stocking, stacking, and sticking to your plan. Keep your head on a swivel, and make sure you are doing the things, okay? Thanks for joining us. God bless. Consider becoming a member. We'll see you on the next one.